morning, biscuits! It is currently 6:18 in the morning, and I am making my way down Harbor Boulevard to get to Disneyland. We are starting at DCA today. You know, I wasn't going to originally do, this has kind of become like a part 2 to multi-pass here on the West Coast at Disneyland. I did Disneyland a couple days ago, and you know what? I'm gonna do DCA today because DCA is a different experience, especially when you're starting in the morning. Right now they have Food and Wine Festival going on. It's a really exciting day today as well. Guardians of the Galaxy is reopening from being down for some refurbishment. So Guardians is coming up with hopefully all 3 towers. Oh, look at me saying 4 instead of the 3, with all 3 towers that are gonna be running. So that is for sure going to be our rope drop this morning. And then I figured I might as well show you DCA just because my plan with DCA is a little bit different. I was originally, and what I like to do is rope drop. Which way am I going to go, dears? Let's see. Oh, I can walk. I usually like to rope drop the pier and knock out the pier, Paradise area, and then start making my way back to Radiator Springs Racers and Guardians and whatnot. But today with Guardians open, we are for sure going to Guardians. But first, we are heading over to grab a coffee because we need it. It's still very, very early. And then while we're on our walk, I'm gonna talk you through again the ins and outs of multi-pass. We're gonna do a quick multi-pass 101. So when we are in the thick of it and in our constant state of hustle butting speed walk sachet, it is not going to be a complete hodgepodge of what's happening, which oftentimes with me, that is kind of what it is anyway, dears. Anyway, but first, coffee. Beautiful sunrise coming up on the Toy Story lot, which the gate is not open yet. Again, if you're parking, the gates do not open until 7. Here at Toy Story, they have a separate security and bus. So once you go through the security and onto the bus, you actually get direct access. You do not have to go through security at the gate, which can be a perk if you're there early enough. Coffee acquired and biscuits. We went big today. Yep, we got 3 shots in this Americano this morning, and that leaves me 1 shot to work with during the day. I don't go over 4 shots a day. I really don't. And chances are that the next coffee I have will probably, nope. We're getting espresso again. I keep forgetting. I have not gotten a Schmoozie's cold brew with a shot yet, and that is probably my favorite area in DCA, if not all of Disneyland, to get my coffee, just because it is strong, and that is what I live for. I love it. Multi-pass here at Disneyland and California Adventure. Different than the West Coast. Oh, we are on the West Coast sleigh. Different than the East Coast. When can you purchase multi-pass and make that first selection? Here at Disneyland and California Adventure, you have to physically scan in. You and your party, if you are not solo, have to be scanned in and inside of the park to be able to purchase multi-pass and make that first reservation. Here at DCA, with it being the reopening of Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be our #1 priority. So as soon as I scan into the park and I'm walking over to the rope, I'm going to be purchasing and then holding Guardians of the Galaxy mission breakout, but we're not using it. We are not using it. This morning, we're not going to be able to ride it multiple times, I don't think, just because it's going to be so crowded. It is an early entry this morning over at DCA, so that also plays a factor. Ordinarily, I would actually pick Toy Story Mania. Toy Story Mania is probably the most popular lightning lane in all of DCA, especially when Guardians of the Galaxy is out of commission. Those 2 are going to be the top tier, and then I would say after that, it comes down to Web Slingers as well as Monsters, Inc., a very, very popular family attraction, and that line gets very long. I saw in my last video, I actually saw one of the longest lightning lanes for it I've ever seen. I haven't, wait, did I put? I did. I can't even remember when I posted anymore, but I was waiting in a lot of very, very long lines. It was one of the longest lightning lanes I'd seen all day, and the queue got up to about 90 minutes, the standby queue. So that's when you can buy, and that's when you can reserve that first lightning lane here at Disneyland and California Adventure. Next, I kind of touched on this, but I'll just rehash it. The order of operations, starting with Guardians of the Galaxy, then I'm gonna be booking onto Toy Story Mania. After that, I'm probably gonna go for Web Slingers and then Monsters, Inc. Even though Soarin is quite popular right now during Food and Wine Festival, since it's over California, the original, I'm not too concerned about it, and I'm also not very concerned about Incredicoaster, as well as the Little Mermaid. So that is going to be our order of operations today, and just a reminder of when you can rebook. You can rebook another lightning lane, you can book another lightning lane once you have either scanned into your attraction or a 2-hour window has passed. My hope today is that we are not going to have to kick off the 2-hour rule, and that actually we might be able to sneak into Disneyland and start getting some attractions over there once we're able to knock out DCA. My lofty goal is to get us out of DCA by noon. However, today's Friday. Mondays and Fridays have become, by the way, Harbor and Catella, this is the loudest road that's ever been created. I don't know where these cars come from and how they're so loud. It is wild. Anyway, Friday and Monday are the busiest days at both of the parks, so I imagine that I am going to have to battle and we are going to have to refresh a little bit. And in the meantime, when we do have to do that, we are either going to grab a coffee, we're going to go in line for some of our favorite B attractions like Mater's Junkyard Jamboree or Luigi's Roadsters, or we are just going to find a bench over by Pixar Pier, take in the view, and just take a break and be present with where we're at. I just saw that it's 6:36, so we got to pick up the speed walk sachet a little bit. So, but again, I'm not that concerned. Rope drop here at DCA has a tendency to not be quite as hectic as over at Disneyland because 90% of the crowd is going to be rope dropping Radiator Springs racers, and then that might be a little bit lower today, again, just with Guardians reopening. But keep that in mind, today is not a day that I would even consider rope dropping Radiator Springs racers just due to early entry. But I personally love actually rope dropping the pier, because the pier, you can I've knocked everything out on the pier. We're talking every single ride on the pier in about an hour, because A, the shows don't have pre-shows, and a lot of people are starting at Avengers Campus and are over at Radiator Springs Racers. So by the time they make it over to the pier, it is at least after that first hour. So that's one of my preferred rope drop strategies. When you go into Avengers Campus, you are with a good amount of the people. When you go to Racers, you're with almost everybody. So I like to go to the quietest parts of the park first and then go back in that direction. Once it's hopefully thinned out a little bit, especially that single rider line at Radiator Springs Racers, after that first hour, 90 minutes, you can usually get back and walk straight on a few times. At least that's been my experience. So those are my favorite rope drop plans. Now I'll see you at the gates. Bye. You know what? No, I have another thing to say. I have another thing to say. While those are my favorite rope drop plans, I'm not telling you to not rope drop Radiator Springs Racers. Just be prepared that that is where a lot of people are going to be, and that is a rope drop that I would want to be as close to the rope as possible, knowing just how many people are going to be going in that direction. And you know, the last thing that I personally want in a rope drop is to rope drop and wait in a line. So whether that's on early entry or whether that's you're following from the back of the crowd to get to a ride. No, your wait isn't going to be quite as long, but still there are also better options. So if you're going to prioritize racers, try to get there as early as you can and get as close to the front of the rope as you can. Guardians, I've been able to do Guardians some mornings 4 times in about 75 minutes. Guardians, the problem is the pre-show, and then with how I feel like the gantries are tiered 3 and 3, it just kind of depends on the operations and whether you're going up the stairs or down the stairs and just how crowded it is in there. But again, the pier, no pre-shows whatsoever. You're basically walking onto a lot of the rides for that first hour, and then it doesn't start to pick up, y'all. Remember, park hopping doesn't begin until 11, so a lot of people are gonna park hop in at 11 because that's also when the festival starts. So that's when you're really going to start to see the crowds compile over at DCA. Okay, now I'm done. Hi, it's me again. I'm back. Y'all, look at this sunrise. These are my favorite mornings, when you get to watch the sun coming up in the background and you're starting to see the colors in the sky illuminate. This is like part of the Disney magic for me, is mornings like this. I have a coffee, I'm walking up to security, and I'm about to have an adrenaline-filled morning at Rope Drop. I'm getting to ride one of my favorite rides that's ever been created, Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. Like, these are especially the mornings that are very, very special. Not to get sentimental, dears, but they're the ones that I look forward to the most. Okay, now I'm done. I'll see you inside the park. Bye. It's currently 6:44, and this is the group of people that are here. It's a little more so than it was the other day, but still not too bad. And just like that, phase 1 complete. We have made it to the gate. Let's go! And I love that the trolley is out here on display. Like, it may be gone, but never forgotten. I love that we can still pay homage to it. It looks gorgeous. Now look, I love a beach time sunrise and sunset, but sunrise and sunset over a Disney park, I think I'm gonna take that even more. This is absolutely beautiful. So again, phase one has been complete. They've been open. I don't know if this is because of spring break, but security opened again today at 6:45. So I rolled up quite literally right as they were starting to walk people to security, which worked out greatly in my favor. We are at the gate, and the next time you will see me, it will be walking into the park and down to the rope over at Guardians of the Galaxy. I'll see you there. And we are off and on our way. Yeah! Good morning. How are you?
Good. Have a great day today.
Thank you very much. You too. So this is phase one of the rope drop. Coming up here, we are going to take a left, and then we are going to walk down the boulevard right in front of the Hyperion, where they're going to stop us right by award wieners. And then that's where they're going to hold us until the official rope drop does begin at 8 o'clock this morning. Oh, y'all, they moved the rope. Wow, they moved the rope further down. So usually they stopped us right about here or a little bit further up, but they moved the rope down closer to the Hyperion. Yeah. Really? I had no idea. This is awesome. So yeah, we're even closer. Like, this is great for the cast members because it is a less of a chaotic walk to get to the ride rather than when it is further back, which can be, ooh, especially on the crowded days, it can be bonkers. Yes! Now we just hold tight until 8 a.m. They are going to start letting early entry visitors in over here on the right, but even then, so I'm not worried about the line for Guardians getting backed up too much. And then, oh my goodness, y'all, I have to scan in and buy multi-pass and book Guardians. Be right back. Wow, I am so glad that I popped over to the app and did that. It is very rare that I see Lightning Lane starting to push that much, and the anticipation of Guardians opening, we're already seeing it. So to be not even in the park for 2 minutes and it's already pushing towards 8:30, it's gonna work out really, really well, because by the time we get on for the first time and off, we're gonna be able to scan in time. But if I would have waited too much longer, it would have been an issue. So I'm glad that we have it booked, we have it reserved. So we are going to ride and stand by for Guardians, and then we're gonna scan in so we can then book on Toy Story Mania and then ride with Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hi.
How you doing?
Cold.
What song are we getting on Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout?
I really hope it's not Elvis.
I honestly think that...
I don't dislike the song, I just don't like it on the ride.
I think it, honestly though, I think it might be one of the strongest cycles. I can't believe I'm saying that. I think it might. What is your favorite song though?
The Jackson 5 song.
Really?
That's one of them. The other, I can't remember the songs right now. I haven't written it in a while.
I put them on the spot. So
Yeah.
you've got Jackson 5, I got I Want You Back, Burn in Love, obviously, Free Ride, Born to Be Wild,
Free
Hit Me With Your
Ride,
Best,
and
and
Hit Me
Give
With
Up the
Your
Funk.
Best Shot.
Yeah, those are two good
Free
ones.
Ride and Hit Me With Your Best Shot for sure.
Yeah. Free Ride is the first song that I ever got on Guardians, and since then it has stuck with me for my life. Free Ride and Guardians, yeah, clearly, and Born to Be Wild are my top two favorites, for sure, hands down. Okay.
Which one do you think we're getting?
We're getting Born to Be Wild. It's gonna happen. We're gonna kick it off with Born to Be Wild. I swear, if Free Ride, if Elvis comes on,
It's always Elvis. I always wait in line, and it's always Elvis. And it's like, just, why?
it's gonna be great. Either way, we're getting back on Guardians. It's gonna slay. We'll see you there. And this is when the envy sets in. There goes the early entry crowd getting their first rides in on Guardians. Have fun! Enjoy your biscuits! Have a great time! Also, forgot to mention today, hey, we're back. The rope has not dropped yet. We are still very much in the same place. Forgot to mention, Matt and I are also going to do a little test today that I have personally never seen done, that I'm really excited about, that we started in Disneyland due to his idea a couple days ago. So I'm going to be going through the Lightning Lane while Matt is actually going to be going through the single rider line, and we are going to compare and contrast to see which one is going to move faster. We were split the other day between Space Mountain and Matterhorn. Space Mountain, Matt blazed me. Wasn't even close. Matterhorn, I snuck in for the win at the very last second. So I'm excited to kind of see how that goes.
I think I'm going to win most of them.
I think you are too. I don't think you're going to win Incredicoaster. I don't think you're going to win. You're going to win it.
Soarin is hard to say.
Soarin is a toss-up.
Yeah.
Web Slingers, you're going to win. Monsters Inc., if you do Buddy Pass, you're going to win. Yeah, it's looking like a Matt favorite day today, the single rider line. Incredicoaster, I think, is my only chance.
We will see.
To be honest, we will find out. Stay tuned. something to keep in mind that just happened over here at the rope drop. So if you're going to be rope dropping Guardians of the Galaxy, stay to the left of the railroad tracks when you're at the rope. They are going to be merging people to the left and not the right. So if you are here early and you're walking up to the rope, favor over to the left of the railroad tracks as you are looking at the Hyperion and not the right. Okay. I'm not sure if you're able to see in the back, but right now it does look like they are trying to move people over to the left as we speak. We are about 5 minutes from the rope dropping, and then this is what the crowd is going to look like at the moment. Ah! Stay behind us, please. This way for Guardians of the Galaxy. Here we go!
Stay behind us, please.
Sorry.
Here's Sebastian, like your brother.
We did it! It is 8:03. We made it in line, and honestly, it went really well.
Yeah.
It went
surprisingly.
as good as it could have, given the circumstances, the energy, the volume of people. This line is filling up so fast. So we're at the front of the pack. We should be getting on relatively quickly, which I am so excited. I'm so excited! And we are starting to move into the Collector's Fortress. Time to say good morning to my favorite. Good morning, Cosmo. Good morning. Oh, so cute. Toy Story Mania is starting to push out to 9 a.m., which right now isn't too bad. We're about to go to the pre-show, but we gotta get off scanning and then book Mania.
I now present to you Tannelia Tavon's private office.
Friends, you're one step closer to your exciting encounter with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
For those of you who have not been paying attention, the name's Rocket, one of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Which one? The smart one. It's a foolproof plan.
Hey, Rocket, aren't you forgetting something up here?
Huh. I'm gonna take a bet.
Oh no. The moment of truth. Are all 6 gantries running? Yeah, so there's no line upstairs right now. And so the line upstairs is actually completely clear. The line downstairs is not, but it actually looks like they might be down a gantry down here. I don't think that they're loading the middle at the moment, so we're gonna have to wait till I can see a little bit clearer. 8:23, we got a little lucky. We got pulled up as a group of 2, so it's 8:23. We are right in front of the gantry and about to get on.
For your sake.
It is so good to get back on Guardians. And Matt totally manifested, hit me with your best shot. And I'm not mad at it. That was a good way to start.
That was a long cycle. That was not a short cycle.
I love it. I love it so much. This is, I want to say this is my favorite Disney attraction that I've ever been on. There are some contenders in there, but I love this attraction. I was never the biggest fan of Tower of Terror here, especially after getting on Tower of Terror at Disneyland Paris, and then obviously the Icon in Florida. But what they did to overhaul this attraction and make it what it is very special. Sure, we miss the legendary Tower of Terror here, but Guardians, I think, is such a suitable overlay and has really enhanced this attraction in the most massive way. Speaking of massive, bye-bye. Look at this queue! Oh no! This is what you skip with Road Drop. Now, granted, Guardians just reopened, so a lot of people are going to prioritize this right now. But this line is bye. But we got to go scan in. We got to scan in, and then we are going to be booking Toy Story Mania. So let's get to it. we are scanned in for Guardians, and then I was just able to hold 920 for Toy Story Mania, which isn't too bad. But before we get on and into the pre-show, I'm gonna try refreshing it because I might have an opportunity to drop that down a little bit since it's about 8:30 right now. So let's see if we can drop that to an earlier time. It's 8:36, we are through the pre-show for the second time. And originally when I got into line, I booked Toy Story Mania and was showing out to 9:20, but then I was hoping that after a couple refreshes, just because it's earlier in the day, that I was able to have an earlier time popped up, and 8:35 popped up. I missed it the first time, and then 8:40 popped up, which I immediately grabbed. So as soon as we finish here, we're gonna be able to head over and get right on for Toy Story Mania. Here's a look at just how quickly things can change. So when we first came on not too long ago, the upstairs was completely empty, and now it's completely full. So if you go to the left and it's backed up, your wait is going to be a little bit longer than if you're on that first level, but we will still be on in no time, and maybe I'll be lucky and get pulled up as a single rider. We got lucky and got pulled up as a single rider. It's 8:41 and we are about to board Guardians again. Come on, free ride, come on, Board to Be Wild.
Raise your hands for clearance. Scan complete. You may now enter the gantry lift.
Yes! We are, not only are we 2 for 2 for songs right now on Guardians, but we got Born to Be Wild, let's go! So now all we have to do is get free ride today, and it is going to be an amazing day. I still have yet to, what's the posted queue time right now? It's 55 minutes, so really not that bad. I have still yet to do a day where I have gotten every single song in one day. The closest I've gotten is 5 songs, which is pretty good. What was the one that I can't remember the one that I didn't get. It actually might have been Burnin' Love, which is a song that I get often, and I think the day that I got the 5 of 6 was a day where Burnin' Love just decided not to come through. I was just like, not today, but one of these days that is going to happen. And y'all, I'm actually pretty surprised. It's relatively quiet over here. You know, Fridays, they can be kind of hit or miss, like I was saying earlier this morning as I was on my way to the parks. But, you know, Mondays and Fridays tend to be the busiest days. It will undoubtedly get slammed tonight. Oh, this Web Slingers line, just kidding. The Web Slingers line, I'll show you when we get over there. It is completely full, as is, it looks like the Lightning Lane as well. It did seem to have a little bit of a delayed opening, but the line for Web Slingers that we just waited in very recently, completely full. But for now, we are on our way over to Toy Story Mania. We were able to get that immediate return time, and Matt is already over there, so we're gonna ride together. He's in the standby line, so hopefully we can link up at the merge and ride together and get up. Today, we're hitting 300,000 biscuits. It's gonna happen. So let's head over to Pixar Pier and let's get on Toy Story Mania! And I'm thinking strategy after this. So we're gonna be right next to Incredicoaster. It makes sense to do that, even though Monsters, Inc. is the toughest. I love how I always go, I'll see you there. And then I'm like, I'm back, hi. You know, Monsters, Inc. is going to be the next one that is gonna tend to push out further. So if it's really starting to push, I might just hoof it back and forth. And that's, you know, to that point, that is what a lot of people do still say about multipass. Multipass is not linear. You can try to make it linear, but sometimes you are zigzagging and stepping for your life all around the park, which can make it a little bit more difficult. I personally don't mind it that much, but if Monsters is starting to push, I'm probably gonna book that. But if not, then I will. Yeah, how y'all doing? Hey, have a good day. But if not, we'll scan it. Not if Incredicoaster doesn't have a line. I'll book Incredicoaster and then we'll ride that. Okay, now I'll see you over at the pier. Quick reminder, as we just walked past one of my favorite places to go here at the parks, get that coffee order in early. Right now it's pretty quiet over there, but pretty soon the line will be lining and the mobile orders will be pushed back. So if you want that coffee from Cappuccino Cart, get those order in early, do the mobile order and modify it as you need to, just so you're not having to wait in that line and just being able to continue to expedite your morning, especially if you're rope dropping. And you know what? Incredicoaster already has a decently long line, but what's great to see is that they are operating 2 sides. First thing in the morning, especially for rope drop, they will usually be at a 1-side operation, and then as the line continues to get bigger and bigger, they will open up that second side. But right now, it's starting to get a little bit on the longer side, but this still isn't that bad for first thing in the morning. So I just got to the merge and I was looking for Matt because Matt came over and got in line. And Matt, I don't know if you can see him, but Matt is right over there. So we are going to get to ride together. This actually worked out really well. And while the line says 15 minutes, I just waited inside firsthand, and it might be 15 minutes because there really isn't that much of a lightning lane right now, but I'm going to say it is at least 20 minutes right now. So I'm glad to get on, and we scanned it and we reserved Incredicoaster A because the line is getting longer, and B, it's already at 9:25, so we're going to scan in and then knock that out after, and that's going to be Matt and I's first challenge on what's going to be faster, single rider or fast lanes. And I think he actually might win because right now the single rider line, there really isn't much of a line, so Matt might win, but we'll have to see. I am so excited to get back on Midway Mania again. I love this attraction. I don't get to ride it that often because, again, I'm usually not doing multi-fast and the line is quite long, but I love this attraction. It's probably my favorite shooting dark ride. It's 9:02 a.m. We are about to board 300,000 biscuits. It's happening today. Matt, we're getting it done. It's happening today. All right, look, the name of the game, let's break it down. In the first room, we gotta get the barnyard animals on the side, and inside the barn, it's gonna flip open and a bunch of mice are gonna come out. If you get the fox on the side, there's a bunch of high points that come out. In the next room, it's all about the getting the volcano bonus and then getting the meteors on the side. Volcano first, and then the meteors on the side. The next room, you gotta get the flying plates. You gotta be synced. You gotta get those flying plates right away. Even when they start flying at your face, they're still really, really hard to get. After that, aliens down. You gotta get the aliens down. A robot mouth is gonna open and you gotta rapid fire into the mouth. Gotta get it done as quick as you can. Don't omit the high point values to the sides. And then for the Wild West, get all those targets up first and then knock them all down. And then hopefully you do it in enough time to get some of the big targets up. All right, let's go. Oh, my microphone was not. I always have to check to make sure my microphone is on. Biscuits, did I miss anything, dears? I think I've got everything. Did I miss any? All right, let's go. 26,400, good but not good enough. Matt is at 9,100. 52,600 and 52,100. Matt killed it that round. Matt's coming back, 82,000 and 74,000. We gotta get the aliens down. Matt's at 135,500, I'm at 123. We got the target bonus, but we're at a hold. 165 for Matt, 149 for me, let's go. I think Matt got the W, but I think we might have broken 300. We gotta see. What? You monster! No! What? How did we not break 300? Wow. I'm not even the best this hour. I really thought we broke 300. Wow. 22,600 and Matt got 22,500. Still not that bad. My arm is cooked. It's the most tired it's ever been. And quite honestly, what's wild is I think that A, that's the best I've ever performed on that game. I genuinely thought so. And B, that is the first time getting every single bonus. So that is just alone, we'll take it. But I really thought that we were gonna hit 300. I really did. Yeah. That's the Delulu in me, dears. I was really hoping for the best, as I usually tend to do, and then I am humbled very quickly. But on to the next, y'all. We're gonna be hitting Incredicoaster, and this is gonna be our first lightning lane versus single rider challenge of the day. I think Matt has a leg up on this one just because single rider really isn't very busy right now. Lightning lane isn't either, but I'm gonna have to wait in the pathway. So it's gonna be whether the elevator's faster or the pathway's faster, so we are gonna find out. We are scanned in for Incredicoaster. I was able to reserve Monsters Inc. for 9:25, so after this we can head right over there, which is fantastic. And then Matt, I think he's already up and down the elevator. He might already be on the other side. Oh no! And at just 9:26, we are about to board Incredicoaster. And honestly, my favorite row aside from the front row, we are boarding in row 11. I love riding in the odds on these coasters between 1 and 11. Even the other odds, I don't mind at all. But row 1, but then row 11 is definitely going to be my other favorite place to ride. Here we go!
Welcome to the Incredicoaster.
What? I don't want to talk about it! Bye. I'm out. You know, I really thought that I had a better chance. I really did. But you got down that ramp and up the elevator so fast, I thought that we were going to intersect for sure. at like the elevator at some point, but you were already up and down before I think I'd even made it to the stairs.
Yeah, you didn't get to the merge point before I was off the elevator.
No, which is crazy because I was looking for you and I couldn't even find you.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe he got held up back there. Anyway, row 11, awesome, so good. Favorite place to ride? I would probably say ride in row 1 first if you can. Always ask. They cannot always accommodate, and then go back around and do row 11 the second time, especially if it's at dusk or at nighttime during World of Color. Favorite time to ride. Up next, we were able to get that immediate Monsters Inc. So that is going to be another test. Something tells me Matt is still going to win this one with the Buddy Pass. Something tells me he's still going to win because the Lightning Lane merge still has a decent amount of queue to go before boarding. So I think that one's for sure going to Matt with the Buddy Pass. The only one left that I think that I genuinely have a shot is going to be Soarin, especially since we're doing it a little bit later. But we will have to see. After Monsters Inc., oh, I forgot. I got to get Web Slingers. We have that one too.
Yeah. And Grizzly.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna win Grizzly for sure. You probably win Web Slingers. I completely forgot what I was trying to say when we were coming up to the pier earlier. The line really wasn't very crowded, but this changes very fast. So mobile order that coffee because the line gets very long, very fast the later it gets. There has been a second surge in the crowds. The queue has once again gotten longer. Guardians is up to a 75-minute wait. Am I? We are scanned in and through the Lightning Lane for Monsters Inc. and I was just able to get Web Slingers but for 11 o'clock. So this is going to be our first modify refresh of the day. And just a recap on how you modify and refresh, I'm going to put the screen grab in here as well. You're going to go into the app and you're going to click on the 3 lines to bring it to that home page, and you're going to scroll down to, well, you have to scroll down to today's plan first, and then you are going to open up today's plan. After opening that, you will scroll down to your Lightning Lane reservation. You will click on that, and that will bring you to an option to modify. You'll click on the modify feature, and then start pulling down on the screen and see if an earlier time can pop up. And remember, just because an earlier time pops up doesn't mean you're going to grab it. You have to be the fastest one to the grab. If for whatever reason you don't get it, reset it, and then continue to try again. I just got pulled up as a single rider, so I was able to get on a little bit quicker. And Matt, he is the next one on for the Buddy Pass. Let's go!
We're off one shoulder. Watch your step back.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
That's right, nothing to see here. You've all been decontaminated, so you're good to go.
You know how Matt likes to stay on the other side and then videotape me? Now we get to videotape him. Come on!
Boarded at the same time, even though he wasn't in front of me. Who do you think won?
I won! Sorry about it! Look.
We boarded at the same time.
No, I was in the first car.
I think we're gonna need the comment section to decide this because
I won.
it took us the same amount of time to get on the ride. Just because
We are off Monsters Inc. after my victory. Talk about a real underdog story here. This was very rocky of me, if I do say so myself.
if you're watching this to find out if it's quicker to use the Lightning Lane or the Buddy Pass, guess what? They boarded at the same time, so it was a tie.
But here's the thing. In all fairness, you would have won. I was pulled up as a single rider. So in all fairness, you didn't see that part. So I was pulled up as a single rider, which is the only reason. He would have boarded probably about 3 minutes before I did. So it's still pretty close, way closer than I thought, but a lot of it just depends on when you get there and how long the buddy pass is. But aside from that, really, I'm shocked that it was even that close, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna beat you at a lot more than that.
I really did too. I was expecting to get off and like you were already there. I was even had my phones ready to videotape you through the glass.
Yeah, I was literally waiting to record you as I was getting on the ride. It didn't happen.
Oh my goodness. Well, Biscuits, we got Web Slingers, but not until 11, so I have some work to do on that. Now is the time where I would say grab some food, grab some coffee like I might do, but also I really wanted to draw attention to this attraction right here. This is Mickey's PhilharMagic. If you know, you know, but I feel like this is an attraction that oftentimes gets overlooked, and this is one of my favorite attractions and what it encapsulates and its storytelling and the music, and there is some spectacle in there as well. So this is a great time to layer in an attraction like this. Or maybe we could go over to do Mater's, so we could maybe go over and try to do Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. Try some of those other attractions that don't have Lightning Lane access. You don't always have to spend your time refreshing, but y'all know me, I'm gonna be refreshing. And then want to do Mater's?
Yeah,
Let's go see if we can do Mater's, and then we'll see if we can get an earlier time for Web Slingers. Easily one of my favorite secondary attractions to get to ride here at the park. Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, especially when they do the holiday overlays and they change the songs. This is a ride that's not to be missed, especially with the families. Here we go! This is the big one. Oh! Got it! Mater's will forever be one of my favorite attractions in this park. It's just hilarious. It's so funny between Mater singing and the movement and being slung side to side. I love this ride, especially at nighttime. And again, especially with the holiday overlay songs that they do. This is a must ride, especially for the families. Have a good day. All right, y'all, we gotta check the tip board. I have not been able to refresh for an earlier web Slingers, so let's see what we might be able to do. And honestly, you know what? We should check single rider line for Radiator Springs racers. We're a little after the curve. I like to try to go back to racers around like the 75 to 90 minute mark, because sometimes after the rope drop crowd, you can see a dip in the single rider line, but it would also be worth going over to see how single rider line is right now. So maybe let's go give that a look. Y'all, single rider line is looking decent. So when you start to see the single rider line back here by the bridges, you know you're looking at least probably 30 minutes, definitely from this second bridge, if not maybe a little bit longer. But right now, oh, you know what, y'all, we're gonna be walking really far up. So it stops right here. I will be shocked. It is currently 10:27. I wanna say that we are gonna be on by 10:40, but let's see, we're coming to a stop right now. This is where we are coming to a stop, and then the merge is right where that tent is, and then we will zigzag up to our left, and we should be out here very, very soon. I missed seeing what the standby time was, but if I had to guess, this is probably somewhere between 60 to 70 minutes for the standby queue. Just 10:29, we are already through the merge. We will probably be on in the next, I'm gonna say 5 to 8 minutes. 10:37, and we are through, and we are about to board. And now my favorite game, what color car are we gonna get? For whatever reason, purple was the first thing that came to mind. I think we're gonna be getting the purple, the violet car, but we're gonna have to wait and see. And then also, I really hope that we get, Ramones. I want Ramones. Yeah, you can either get Luigi's or Ramones. I love the paint shop. So we're hoping for a purple car, and we were hoping for Ramones. But either way, single rider line came through. This is only gonna get longer as the day continues to progress, especially after park hopping. So try to knock it out after that first hour, 75 to 90 minutes. Yeah! And I could not have been more wrong. We are gonna be getting in the maroon car. And I think that we are getting on, yeah, we're getting on at the same time as Matt. There is currently still no single rider line whatsoever. So they're basically walking people right to the merge. So we could walk around and get right back on in comparison to waiting in the standby line that is now going back past the bridges. Racers is already unbelievable and incredible. Yeah! In its own right. But when you get to win, especially when you're racing against someone, that right there is the ultimate victory. It makes it that much better.
Doesn't count towards your wins for the day.
You know what? Now that you mention it, thank you for mentioning. I'm already up 2-1 today. Slack! I'm up 2-1. Oh no, monsters. Totally counts.
I'm up 1 into 1 tie.
Whatever. And then. And then after we scan it, we're gonna head over to Web Slingers. Soarin right now is pushing out the furthest. I'm pretty sure when I checked when I was in line, it's looking like after 1 right now. So I'm both gonna have to try to modify and refresh for it. But then also it's gonna be a great time to grab a coffee because we're about at coffee o'clock. And then I had the burrata toast over from Aunt Cass the other day, and it is delicious, and I would love to have that again. And this just goes to show you, kicking off the 200th sleigh, the 2-hour rule is not always a bad thing because we got to go on maters, we got to do single rider line for racers, we could technically do racers again if we wanted to. So we're doubling up on our attractions rather than just standing and trying to refresh and not doing anything. So if you're gonna stand and refresh, if you have to kick off the 2-hour line, the 2-hour rule, do it in line for something, do it while you're eating, do it while you're having a coffee, rather than just sitting on a bench and refreshing, all right? Promise? I know I ask you this every video, but promise? Okay, I believe you, thank you. And just like that, it is time to scan in for Web Slingers. So you know what that means. Single rider line again versus lightning lane. The single rider line, I might have a chance. The single rider line backed up a little bit. I might have a chance. I might have a chance. All right, y'all, let's get in, and then we're going to hold Soarin, and then we're gonna have to refresh for that. But we will see you on Web Slingers. We are scanned in. I was able to pull a Soarin for 210. We've got a lot of work to do. But again, coffee and food first, but we are gonna work to refresh that lightning lane for Soarin to get that up a little bit sooner because we are not riding at 210.
Our project lead, the brilliant, Peter Parker.
Hey, what's up? I'm Peter Parker. Well, here at Web, we got access to some pretty awesome tech. I didn't have a bug problem. I'm here to help.
You made it. Great. Red level is at exponential danger.
It's 11:12. We are through the pre-show, and there's no line here, so we're about to board. And then even better, I was able to refresh for a lightning lane for Soarin for 11:10, literally 2 minutes ago. Let's go! And I think we're gonna get on before Matt, so that's a double let's go. All right, y'all, see you on the ride. Here we go! That is hands down my best score yet. That is my first time ever getting into the 300s. Let's go! 338,400. And once again, we get to be out here and watch Matt come out and realize that I got him! But here's what happened. My pre-show opened before his, so they only load the single riders into the right pre-show. So I got a little lucky. I went into the left pre-show before Matt got brought in. So that's the reason, but you know what? We are up 2-1 biscuits, so I'm gonna take it. Brian's here! Hi, Brian.
Hi, Jeremy.
Where's Jen?
She went that way.
Went that way? All right, I'll be right back. It is currently 11:46 a.m. and I am still in line for the single rider line. Oh, Matt's in the single rider line. I am not for the lightning lane. And this standby queue is going to get very long very quickly with this backup. They are going to prioritize this side. But since we came to a stop, I'm a little concerned that they might be down to half capacity, but we're going to have to wait and see. After this, I am most likely going to try to get Goofy's Sky School. It came up recently. It wasn't on the tip board, but my guess now is that Goofy's is going to be showing on the tip board. But by now, people have recognized it is going to be pushing a little bit further out. So I'm probably going to try that. And then we also have left Grizzly River, which I don't want to do it. And then the Little Mermaid, and then that's it. We're done. So not quite noon, but hopefully if all goes well and the refreshing goddesses are in our favor, we will be out of here and done at 1 o'clock. Oh, I got so lucky. I was able to just pull a Goofy Sky School for 11:55 a.m. So as soon as we get off of this, we're going to head over to Goofy Sky School. We just got grouped in and pulled up as a single rider, and we're riding in Concourse B, Row 1. It's just the best place to ride.
Soarin to tower. We are ready for takeoff.
No one likes a gloater. No one loves that. That's so tacky. Genuinely, the one ride that I thought I for sure had it on was Soarin'. But you know, that being said, the lightning lane, it moved very, very quick. And then Matt basically just walked right on, essentially. So single rider line can be hit or miss with Soarin'. If you catch it at the right time, you will get on very, very quickly. But there are some times where I've had to wait upwards of like 4 monorail shot. I really hope I got it and nailed it. You know, there are some times where I've had to wait upwards of 4, 5, or 6 cycles, but then again, those are also days when the standby queue is quite long. So give the single rider line a try, but then also the lightning lane, if you don't see much of a lightning lane, that standby line is gonna move pretty quickly. Just a reminder, because I have to say so every video, not only can you get some unbelievable photos over here, a Pixar pier, and the wheel, the Pixar pal around, but then also underrated photo, I do have to say, is when Golden Zephyr is in motion, it floating around. If you do a 0.5 photo, I'm gonna try to turn you around. If you do a 0.5 photo right here with Golden Zephyr in the background as it's in action, especially at night, it is a fantastic picture and not one that I see a lot. So if you're gonna come over here and do these pictures over here, make sure you include that one when it's in motion. But then also, as you can see, there's a ton of benches here. Lots of benches. The only issue is, yes, there is direct sunlight, so you will be in the sun, but a great place to sit, take in the views, and just enjoy one of the most iconic Disney views, I think, at any park. We are scanned in, and thankfully I got lucky not only getting this time right now, but the lightning lane also isn't very long. So hopefully we will move and groove right through. And then I don't know if I'm gonna ask for the front row or maybe just go on and whatever, because there's only 2 rows here. If I go to the second row, because I think this time I'm actually gonna do a facing me POV, because I haven't done the last time I did it on the actual POV from the front row. So maybe you'll be able to see my facial expressions this time as we do the ride.
Welcome to California's goofiest place. So many Tucson elements. Stay seated and you're going.
Off Goofy Sky School, victory was mine, which I was, I mean, it was actually kind of mine by a long shot, if I'm being honest. By a long, long, long shot. I mean, you probably, it would have been at least another like 8 minutes, I'm going to say, before Matt would have gotten on. Yeah. The single rider line does back up here. They do get a lot of not even odd numbers. So it just kind of depends on whether or not there's a line that's forming at the moment or if it's a little bit slower. Goofy's opened not too long ago, and so I'm not surprised that it's a little bit backed up. But they already closed single rider, so if the line does get too long, they will close it down. That is pretty standard. So you can go, you can look, and if you don't see people lined up against the railing in the boarding area, it's gonna be a pretty quick on. But today, I'm gonna take that W. Thank you, 3-2, let's go. Oh no! Grizzly River Run just went down and they're clearing the line. I was so excited to go on. Oh, hey. Stop, Matt, stop. I was so excited. I was so looking forward to it.
Broken. I am crushed. My favorite ride is
It's legitimately Matt's favorite ride. I used to watch his Snapchats of him quite literally marathoning it all day and all night. What's your max in one day?
God, like 15, I think.
That's not surprising. Literally.
That's a lot.
Y'all, me and water rides, it's not it. Oh, they are draining. No, they're not.
They have to drain it in order to evacuate.
Wow.
That was quick too.
So yeah, y'all, they're going to be evacuating the ride. It looks like they're draining the water down, so it's going to be down for a while. Well, you know.
They can refill it fast.
Yeah.
Fast, but the evacuating part
It
takes an hour to drain it up top enough to evac people. So in like an hour, maybe it'll be close to refilling.
I've never seen that happen. So as you can see right now, there is no water over here in this area at all. So they're in the process of draining it, and the ride is, yes, going to have to be evac'd. I mean, it's neat to get to see, as my hand blocks the camera, it's neat to get to see from my perspective, just because I am such a ride nerd and I love knowing how things work and just kind of learning the ins and outs. But how cool to kind of get evac'd off of Grizzly River Run. Now that would be an evac credit that I'd be like, yes, I'm here for it. But yeah, me and water rides, not it. So we are gonna actually, we have to rebook. Oh, we've got one more, y'all. Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid is our last one, and then we are done. We're gonna call it about 1:10, which honestly is a sleigh, and we will debrief that in a little bit. Let's go to Little Mermaid. And here they are being walked down the ride. Oh, this would be a dream come true. This is so cool. I mean, I feel for the cast members. This is, you know, not ever what you want to have to see happen. But if you are in the position of getting evac'd off, that is pretty unbelievable.
Look, you are now my honorary line cook. And now, your special treat, my sous chef too.
The queue says 10 minutes right now, but not only does it go all the way to the back, it's in the extended queue and inside. This is definitely longer than 10 minutes. And at 12:55, we are scanned in for our very last lightning lane at DCA. Yeah! You know, you really can't ask for much more on what's been such a busy Friday. Yes, we got a little unlucky just now with Grizzly River Run. Who knows, maybe we'll try to get that again once it comes back up. But this has been a fantastic day. I had a lofty goal of noon. I know that was going to be a stretch, but for us to finish before 1 p.m., to still essentially have such a huge chunk of time for the rest of the day if we wanted to go over to Disneyland is a massive slay. I'm going to start looking into some of the lightning lanes that are over there just for funsies, and then who knows, maybe we'll have to hop over there and try to get on a few rides. But no matter what, we are going to break down our strategy and everything we did today to make it such a successful day. But for now, let's enjoy Little Mermaid.
Do I help them? Yes, indeed. Those poor unfortunate souls.
Biscuits. We are celebrating with a cold brew with a shot from my favorite, the cappuccino cart. And then I also just ordered one of my new favorite food items here at DCA from Aunt Cass. It is the burrata toast. It is unbelievable. I had it for the first time yesterday. So we are celebrating with a cold brew with a shot. And, oh, why am I saying that 2 times in a row? Cheers, Biscuits.
Conciliatory drink.
Oh, it's not conciliatory. What's that word? Conciliatory? It's not. I won 3-2. He is all sorts of delulu.
It was a tie.
I mean, I don't. I'm thinking no on the tie. I'm taking the victory 3-2. He would have won Grizzly, so I do think that in the long run, it would have been a tie overall. For now, we're in San Francisco, enjoying a coffee, enjoying some food, and then I forgot to mention, I was able to get an immediate return for Space Mountain. So we're at least gonna go do Space Mountain too. But first, food. Here is the burrata toast from Aunt Cass, and I'm gonna be honest, it looks better today than it did yesterday. This is, I think I gave it a 9.3 out of 10, and a lot of that comes from the onion jam that's on the bottom. It is delicious. One bite, here we go, wish me luck. It is just as good, if not better than yesterday. If you love burrata, a really nice sourdough toast, balsamic. It is slightly sweet with the onions as well. Good acidity from the cherry tomatoes. This is a must get at Aunt Cass. It's a little bit lighter, yet it's still satiating and filling. 9.3, we're still keeping it out of 10. So good. Good evening from back at the hotel, Biscuits. The persistence with the lightning lane game is what is ultimately going to get you all of those attractions in the shortest amount of time. And the beautiful thing about Disneyland and California Adventure is that you don't have to be here for a week. You don't have to be here for 3 days. I mean, you can do it if you really want to go through all of it. You can do it all in one day, especially if Disneyland is open until midnight. If you want to have a long day from rope drop to midnight, you can knock out both parks in one day, no problem. I'm not gonna say no problem. That's way too much gusto there, but you can. And again, just to break down a few of the things that we did today, you gotta remember that with Disneyland and California Adventure, the success for Lightning Lane, doing things as easily as possible, relies on what time you get there. So if you get there early enough, I love getting to the parks before park opening and having a really great rope drop in the morning. That's really fun for me. But then as you saw, Guardians started to push really, really quick. Yes, it did just come back up from being under refurbishment. Yes, it's probably one of the more popular rides in the ride in the park next to Radiator Springs Racers. And then Toy Story Mania started to push really quickly. All the rides started to push really quickly after that first kind of like hour, 90 minutes. The times really started to fly. So the earlier you get there, the better. If I'm not rope dropping Guardians, I'm going to the pier and I'm knocking out the entirety of the pier because that's where people go last. People start at Guardians and at Adventures Campus. Most of the people start at Radiator Springs Racers. The least amount of people go to the pier. I have knocked out every ride on the pier in an hour. So that is easily something you can do, especially if you want to ride Toy Story Mania and Incredicoaster multiple times, knocking out the Pixar Pal around. Or again, if you have younger ones with you that may not be tall enough to do some of the other attractions or a little too afraid to do some of the other attractions. That is success strategy number 1. And then number 2, the patience and the persistence of the refresh. And not only that, but using other rides, lesser rides, to refresh on a more popular rides. So we always have a lightning lane booked. We have to make sure that we always have a lightning lane booked. And then even if it's a ride that maybe particularly you don't want to ride, worst case scenario, you go to ride the ride. Best case scenario, you use that to modify onto a different ride that hopefully will have an earlier time pop up. So we always have a lightning lane booked. Number 3, give yourself the break. If you have to book further out and you have to kick off that 2-hour rule, take it. Go to lunch. Go see some of the side entertainment. Leave the park and take a little bit of a break, because remember, you can book after those 2 hours. So you can also go back to the hotel, rest, and just stack a couple lightning lanes. So that way when you come back to the park later in the day, you have a couple lightning lanes ready to go. Take the time. In terms of my order today, I stand by the order in terms of which we booked and where we went to. That changes and it morphs throughout the day. Again, you might be trying to get a more popular ride and you're trying to modify onto it, and you have to book something else by way of getting there. So it does morph, it does change, but that is typically going to be my order of operations. Biscuits, that is going to do it for our Lightning Lane day over at DCA. And I know that it was a slay! But if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments and I will answer everything that I can and clarify everything that I can. I know that it can be an overwhelming system. I know that planning these days can be very stressful. So anything that I can do to help take the stress out of your day, I'm here for you. I got you, boo. Let's do this, biscuit! As always, I'm Jerendelle, but you can wait, hold on a second. Why do I keep getting this wrong? I'm Jeremy, but you can call me Jerendelle. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so every time I post a video that you always get notified and get to it right away. And as always, I will see you at the parks. Bye!